Young kids out here with lots and lots to play for.
Oh, look, I think it's a bigger game for Chelsea. I think it's about laying down a marker, showing your style and really pushing Manchester City. For Manchester City, it's about flexing muscle, saying we are the champions. We want to win this, put you in your place, as we did last season.
Who wins it, Richard?
I think Man City. I think last year they were so far ahead of everyone else here, and they've come with a strong squad. Talk about Vincent Kompany coming back early, and they want to be here, they want to play, and they want to win. I think they'll win the match today.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for your company in the sun for the last hour or so. It's been enjoyable, but for the first time of many times this season, I'm lucky enough to be able to hand over to our Galacticos, Stephen Manaman and Darren Fletcher. Hello, gents.
Hello, Jake. You're too kind. Hope your summer was as interesting and entertaining as ours was, watching that magnificent World Cup in Russia. And Steve and I ready to get going again with the Community Shield, and the two teams, as you can see, starting to form the lines in the tunnel. 3 weeks since the World Cup final in Moscow, and Wembley is just about ready for the 96th FA Community Shield. Last season's all-conquering champions, Manchester City, whose scintillating football lit up the Premier League, and they're up against Chelsea, who have pressed the reset button once again this summer, hoping, Steve, that Maurizio Sarri can get them back competing for the title.
Yeah, and it's great to see Maurizio Sarri back in. Well, back into the Premier League, along with all the other great managers we've got here. Let's see what philosophy he has, let's see what style he has. I think the only question mark is, this was in the offering a long time ago, Fletch. Chelsea should have done this and given more time to get accustomed to a squad. I know he's still missing a few players, but it'd be great to see how his future with Chelsea pans out.
There's David Luiz, who's back into the Chelsea team today, having had a season blighted by injury. Fernandinho there at the head of the Manchester City line, with Vincent Kompany not quite ready to get involved in this one today. When you talk about having an instant impact, it's worth remembering that Maurizio Sarri did coax the Napoli team to score 106 goals in his first season at the San Paolo. And that kind of impact, of course, would be greatly received this season at Stamford Bridge.
Just a bit. But as Rio rightly said before, it took Pep a year, didn't it? And we all thought Pep was going to hit the ground running, because he did at Barcelona, he did at Bayern to a certain extent. But it'd be great if Sarri could get those type of numbers, couldn't he? And there's his new sign. I think we're all looking forward to seeing him. Highly touted, of course. Both teams in the tunnel there wanted him. He's plumb for Maurizio Sarri as ex-manager and Chelsea. Lots of little stories. Phil Foden, Callum Hudson-Odoi. Great to see them on the pitch today, and a big day for them all, isn't it? Great atmosphere, lovely stadium, win a trophy earlier on. It's what you need.
Well, there's Pep Guardiola, who called it the first final of the season, although the reality is, with some players still to return after the World Cup, neither squad is at full strength today. And both of those two there, Guardiola and Sarri, have had lots of complimentary things to say about each other in the build-up to this FA Community Shield.
They look nice and relaxed, don't they? It's good to see. Pep's come dressed for the weather.
So the two teams about to emerge in what they will emerge into, having seen Jake and Richard and Rio and Chris down there sweating through it for an hour or so. They emerge into baking hot temperatures here at Wembley Stadium today. Extremely hot and sticky, although the modern footballer tends to play the pre-season abroad in hot and sticky conditions, but they've got more of the same today. No sky blue for City, but sky blue skies over Wembley Stadium. A summer's afternoon that sure is to be a real test for the two teams. New kits, new faces, optimism and hope, and two teams who can enjoy today knowing that next weekend it all starts for real. As is tradition today, the presentation party will greet the respective teams here for this one. Greg Clark, the FA chairman, with Toure Andre Flo, the ambassador for Chelsea, Mike Summerby in an ambassadorial role here for Manchester City, and Paul Pomeroy, the chief executive officer of today's sponsor of the match, McDonald's. And both of those gentlemen, Toure Andre Flo and Mike Summerby, will have a role to play post-match today. One of the ambassadors will present the Community Shield trophy to the other side. So if Chelsea win it, Mike Summerby does the honours, and if Manchester City win it, then that will fall for Tore Andre Flo. That's how they both got here today. Chelsea, the FA Cup winners, and Manchester City, the runaway victors of the Premier League. And we will also have the national anthem sung here at Wembley Stadium today before the kick-off as well. And that's going to be sung by Bella Voce in the sunshine here in London. The likes of Hazard, De Bruyne, Giroud and Kante have all had extended breaks after the World Cup. But the big summer signings for both clubs, Jorginho of Chelsea and Riyad Mahrez of Manchester City, are both here and involved in the starting lineups today.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be on standing for the national anthem performed by Emily Burnett and Sophie Rowan from Bella Voce.
An anthem that resounded around Russia in the summer and sung with passion and gusto here at Wembley Stadium today. So let's have a look at the team news today, and there are absentees for both clubs. Courtois, Hazard, Kante and Giroud all missing, and there are some notable starters though in the Chelsea team. Summer signing Jorginho, the £50 million man from Napoli, is in from the start, as is Ross Barkley, who wants to put a difficult season behind him. There's a place for teenager Callum Hudson-Odoi, the 17-year-old has impressed Maurizio Sarri in pre-season, and David Luiz also plays. He's hoping to put a season blighted by injury well and truly behind him. Well, Kevin De Bruyne, David Silva, Raheem Sterling headline the City absentees today. Claudio Bravo starts in goal. There's a start for Riyad Mahrez, who's shaken off an ankle knock. England duo Kyle Walker and John Stones both play. So does Leroy Sané, fresh from a very unexpected summer off. And Benjamin Mendy, who was part of France's World Cup winning squad. And City have included a talented and exciting teenager themselves today. Phil Foden is in Pep Guardiola's starting lineup ahead of what could be a very exciting season for him. And with regard to the lineups today, Steve, the first thing you see is that change of shape for Chelsea, the Maurizio Sarri way.
Yeah, he wants to go to a 4-3-3, we know that, and as you rightly said, great to see Jorginho there in the centre, pulling all the strings. He'll be the one who'll try and set off the moves. Equally good to see Ross Barkley to Jorginho's left and Hudson-Odoi, because as you rightly said, Ross Barkley needs a new star. Hudson-Odoi's a new 17-year-old with great promise. As for Manchester City, great to see Benjamin Mendy back. I know he was about the French World Cup squad, but you know, he needs some game time now. He's a wonderful left back. Phil Foden, all eyes on him as well.
Well, there's Jorginho. An initial 50 million secured the services for Chelsea. The Italian international choosing to play under Maurizio Sarri in London after playing for him in Naples and electing not to join Manchester City. The stats tell you nobody passed the ball better than him in the whole of Europe last season.
I think that's why this game is so important, isn't it, Fletch? There's lots of question marks about everybody.
Well, you see Riyad Mahrez there as well. He brings his twinkling feet and imagination to Manchester City, and you wonder, as a new piece for Guardiola to use, just what he's capable of in a team as expressive and inventive as Manchester City. There's John Moss, the referee today. We do have VAR here as well. Stuart Atwell and Andrew Halliday will take charge of that. And John Moss, the man in charge for this one. Well, don't forget, this game is also available to BT Sport customers in 4K UHD, and that's on channel 433. Well, a summer that's passed in the blink of an eye with a World Cup that captured the nation, and here we are, 78 days after Chelsea lifted the FA Cup, ready to go again. Kyle Walker with his first piece of defending to do, back in his more familiar position as a right back today, having played on the right side of England's back three in Russia.
Yeah, and he certainly did well, didn't he, for England? Didn't make any big mistakes or anything in that position. He wants to play right back. He's more comfortable playing right back, of course he is. But what you would say is that I know both sides are missing a number of personnel. They've still got very, very strong squads when you look at the starting 11 and the people on the bench.
First free kick there given against Riyad Mahrez. Well, there's Pep, who's won it. Now he's going to try and retain it and set his focus on the Champions League as well this season. And Antonio Conte's practicality has been replaced by the attacking ambition of Maurizio Sarri. 59, turned Napoli into a free-scoring team. It's the first time that he's managed outside of Italy.
They've started going forward, haven't they, Chelsea? Straight away they tried to hunt down Manchester City. Tactically it's going to be fascinating to see Manchester City now push really high up as well, wanting to get the ball back as soon as they can.
Azpilicueta, who's the Chelsea captain today. Neither of the managers have their first choice goalkeeper playing today. Ederson is on the bench for Manchester City. Thibaut Courtois, amid all of the discussions about moving to Real Madrid, not involved. Here's a welcome sight for Manchester City supporters. Benjamin Mendy raiding forward, supported here by Bernardo Silva. Here's Mahrez. David Luiz back there defending for Chelsea. Jorginho quickly in there though for Manchester City was Stones. And Leroy Sané, noticeable though, Steve, that there was a barnstorming run made outside him again by Mendy.
Yeah, that's what he gives you, Mendy. No disrespect to Delph or Zinchenko from last year, but he's something else, isn't he, Mendy? He sprinted away from Fabregas earlier on, he's just sprinted away from Pedro there. Sané could have just paused slightly, he could have slipped him in.
Goalkeeping there by Caballero, who had Sergio Aguero breathing down his neck. Really is an aggressive press by Manchester City early on.
Yeah, but Jorginho did well, didn't he? Receiving it off David Luiz and turning, breaking the press quite easily in the end.
As is the norm these days, both teams have been far and wide in pre-season. City were in the United States for 3 matches. Chelsea played in Perth, Australia, as well as games in Nice and Dublin. And they've still got Lyon to play at Stamford Bridge in midweek to finish off the pre-season preparations. If there is a slight advantage to either side today, it might just be that the majority of the Chelsea players have played more minutes than those from Manchester City.
Yeah, possibly, yeah.
Jorginho, and then on towards Alvaro Morata. There's Phil Foden. You wonder what the season has in store for him. Still only 18. Sloppy from Pedro. Rudiger in there though quickly for Chelsea. It's a really good ball by Laporte. Here's Sané. Now Bernardo Silva, and he has options here. Both Riyad Mahrez and Sergio Aguero were in there. As Aguero trying to make the run to get on the end of the cross.
And he both pulled out initially, didn't he?
Silva again, and that's a foul on him by Jorginho.
Nice little body swerve, isn't it? Just dropping that left shoulder. This was a strange one, wasn't it? Azpilicueta got caught by a lovely ball. And as Sané slips Bernardo Silva, and you see Aguero runs and then stops, and he sort of both get in each other's way. They both want the pull back, Aguero and Mahrez.
Riyad Mahrez looks the most likely here for Manchester City, although Kyle Walker is there as well. It is Mahrez. Now Mendy. Here's Sané. Pause into Phil Foden. Well, John Stones, who was excellent for England in the summer, and he'll look to take that into the Premier League season, having found it hard to earn a place in the Premier League lineup for Manchester City last season. Excellent ball by Walker to Silva. Bernardo Silva for Manchester City, seeing plenty of the ball in the early stages. No David Silva here today, one of the players not involved for Manchester City. That was sloppy. And there's a chance here for Hudson-Odoi to have his first run at Manchester City. And Fernandinho, as he does so well in this City side, able to break it up and win it back.
Yeah, he gave it away, Fernandinho, but he got back and won it back. I think Hudson-Odoi wanted to try and run, and then he looked at Kyle Walker and he thought, I'm not going to run past this defender, so he had to cut inside, and in the end he cuts back into Manchester City players, principally Fernandinho. I think that's what he offers you, Kyle Walker. He offers you that danger where you think to yourself, I'm not going to run past this fella. So you always have to change your minds all the time. You have to be a bit more cute to get past Kyle Walker.
He was in the Team of the Year last season, the PFA Team of the Year for his performances at right back, Kyle Walker. On the subject of Callum Hudson-Odoi, Maurizio Sarri, albeit with limited time to see him, has been really impressed.
Yeah.
When you listen to all the things he's had to say positively about the 17-year-old. Here's Alonso. Looking for Morata. There's no foul. John Moss as he got the ball cleanly against Foden, and then Walker was really firm on Barkley.
Yeah, everybody stopped there. Everybody thought it was a foul apart from John Moss. So everybody stops, arms in the air.
Early signs are, Macca, that City haven't lost the ability to play out from the back.
No, not at all.
There's Riyad Mahrez. It's a really exciting right side for City today, isn't it, with the Kyle Walker-Riyad Mahrez partnership. Here's Mahrez again, and now Aguero. And he comes into the game today on 199 goals for Manchester City, Sergio Aguero, but nothing like the kind of strike he wanted there. Here's Bernardo Silva. Now Mendy. In towards Aguero. Just looking to make that near post run, wasn't he, across Antonio Rudiger.
This is nice by Mahrez, isn't it? Good pass. Just pulls it, Aguero. So many different options though, Fletch, haven't they? Is it going to be Mahrez? Is it Sterling? Is it Bernardo Silva? David Silva has to come back. De Bruyne, Gabriel Jesus. I mean, wow, they just roll off your tongue. So much strength.
Here's Marcos Alonso. Now Callum Hudson-Odoi. Jorginho. Now Fabregas. Pedro, offside flag up against him.
That was close, wasn't it? You just see he was coming back out, wasn't he? Coming towards the ball. Just didn't get out in time. Nice straight line from Manchester City's defenders.
He signed a new contract in the summer, Pedro. One thing we are seeing early on, the opening 10 minutes will tell you that Jorginho is going to have hundreds and hundreds of touches during these matches in the centre of that Chelsea midfield. They'll play through it, and that's the way he likes it. That it's a great effect at Napoli.
Well, you would say this is nothing like any of the pre-season games that these teams have played. The pace of the game closing down. This is a different level whatsoever, isn't it? Real good warm-up for the start of the Premier League next week. Getting right up to pace now.
The majority of questions in the build-up have been about the kind of impact that Sarri will have and what Chelsea are going to look like. But of course Guardiola's always been very open that he won the title last year, but he wants to win it better this time. It's pretty hard to do when you win it by 19 points, a goal difference of plus 79. But that will be the motivation, won't it, for the Manchester City manager to try and do that better, and also make a more significant impact on the Champions League as well, the trophy that City really want to win.
I think if they have a stable team, and they had lots of injuries last year, including Mendy, Vincent Kompany was out for a significant amount of time. This will be a stronger squad this year for them. He'll have more to work with. Of course, he wants to do it better, but last year they were in cruise control. They'd almost won it in November, we were saying. Everybody thought they were so dominant.
It's nicely worked. Here's Phil Foden. Riyad Mahrez and Aguero, the options. It's Aguero! And he scores his 200th goal in a Manchester City shirt. But Pep Guardiola will be so pleased by the part that young Phil Foden played in the Manchester City goal. It's City 1, Chelsea 0.
Yeah, it was a really easy goal, wasn't it? Good run by Mahrez. Kept the defenders nice and wide. Phil Foden does really well. Just drives and drives into that space. Real attack-minded young kid. But again, look at the Chelsea defenders. No one goes with Aguero. Nobody closes him down whatsoever. Edge of the box. How easy do you want it for the Argentinian? Scores goals for fun in the Manchester City shirt, and when he gets as much time as this in the box, picks a spot, smashes it past his old teammate Willy Caballero.
Well, it was a disappointing summer for Argentina and Sergio Aguero, but he's back in the Community Shield with a bang. His 200th Manchester City goal on the day that he plays his 293rd game for the club. That is a quite remarkable strike record at this level over that length of time.
Amazing. Something to work on from Maurizio Sarri, because defensively that wasn't good enough by Chelsea, backing off all the time. You have to go and close the ball down. Manchester City are too good.
So first blood here to the champions, who were so impressive on their way to the title. If they are going to do it better, we were talking about that before the goal, then last season's record breakers would need to be replaced by record breakers this season. And that's the only way you can do it better. And they're off to the perfect start here with the Aguero goal. We will see now what response there is from Chelsea. Here's Cesc Fabregas. Pedro out to Azpilicueta. Alvaro Morata waiting in the box, and Hudson-Odoi was in there too. And Kyle Walker happy to steer it behind for the Chelsea corner. Fabregas has gone out there to take the corner for Chelsea, supported here by Pedro. It's the more direct approach from Fabregas this time towards David Luiz. Again, it was Kyle Walker's head in there. A really important tackle there by Jorginho on Leroy Sané, who would have had so much space to run into had the Italian international not got there.
Yeah, him and Mahrez hunting the ball down. Makes a good challenge, doesn't he? Then wins the subsequent free kick as well.
Still trying to work out how Germany were able to leave Sané out of the World Cup squad. Claudio Bravo committed himself early to that, needed to get there.
Yeah, he got there, that was the main thing. Gets a good hand to it.
Mahrez can't keep that in. Here's Fabregas. Now Barkley. Fernandinho was in there for Manchester City. And you wonder whether this is going to be a season where Ross Barkley can relaunch a career that looks so promising, but he struggled with hamstring injuries when he got to Chelsea last season, didn't play many games for them, but still has such a bright future, Steve, if he can get it right. There's more defending, though, for Chelsea to do with Aguero running through. And he's going to try one. And Willy Caballero down, but more concerned defensively there for Chelsea. Just one long straight ball.
I'm going to say, Flex, that's really sloppy. Really sloppy. People mentioned David Luiz is back, but still he just doesn't exude a lot of confidence in the people around us. There's a simple pass like that. It was chaos. He has to sharpen up. I know he's getting on in his career, but still the same problems persist with him, where he just looks a little tiny bit too relaxed, doesn't he, on the ball at times. But you hope that Ross Barkley gets a new lease of life. You certainly do. Young English player, full of talent.
Walker wants to have a run here at Azpilicueta. Now Benjamin Mendy. Both teams have the options in both halves to have drink breaks as well. You would expect on a day like this that both managers will be happy to do that.
Oh yeah. Why wouldn't you do it?
I suppose the difficult balancing act for the pair of them is that players have been coming back to pre-season training in dribs and drabs. They've had longer holidays or different times based on where their respective nations managed to reach in the World Cup, so it's not been an orthodox pre-season for anybody where all of the big names come back at the same time.
Yeah. No, this pre-season is really disjointed. As you rightly said about the time, the World Cup, of course the transfer deadline day's been moved significantly further forward, so it doesn't get in the way of our league campaign. So added with all that, it's very, very difficult for certain clubs and certain managers.
Could represent an interesting 4 days for Chelsea, with Courtois linked with Real Madrid. Maurizio Sarri may be wanting to bring one or two in before the transfer window closes. And of course more players returning for pre-season training tomorrow. It's Phil Foden. Ross Barkley there with a challenge for Chelsea. Bernardo Silva, and now Foden. Riyad Mahrez. Gets himself a yard away from Alonso. And then David Luiz there to clear it for Chelsea. There is David Luiz, Steve, who didn't play for Chelsea after the 5th of February last season. Had knee and ankle injuries all the way through. Wasn't part of the Brazil squad for that reason during the summer. And he was pretty much out of favour, wasn't he, with Antonio Conte by the time the injury struck?
Yeah, he was. They've changed their formation. He's the new manager. Looks like he's been given another chance. Hopefully he's fit and well. Not any lingering problems, injury problems, as you rightly said, from last year. Incredibly talented centre defender, isn't he? Of course he is, we know that. Always has been.
John Moss not happy that the ball was moving when the free kick was taken. There's Jorginho, Barkley. Now Alonso. Hudson-Odoi. Here's Rudiger. And by Foden. A decent knockdown as well to Riyad Mahrez. Here's Aymeric Laporte. Now Mendy. It's an all-French left side of that Manchester City back four, with Mendy, the French international, Laporte still waiting for his first senior cap. Challenged by Bernardo Silva, deemed to be a foul there by John Moss.
Yeah, I think he gave it Phil Foden.
Whoops. Sloppy by Jorginho, and Manchester City have got players raining forward here. One of them is Leroy Sané. It was a heavy touch, and they should really have been punished there, Chelsea, for more sloppy play.
Yeah, that was Jorginho that time, and the goalkeeper did really well, actually. I know it was a big touch by Sané, but he was out quick. Caballero.
One back by Mendy. City looking the sharper of the two so far.
Yep. Well, at the moment, Chelsea have offered absolutely nothing going forward. They're also very narrow, aren't they, Chelsea? I know Hudson-Odoi's wide on the left, and Pedro, to a certain extent, is right midfield. But Hudson-Odoi wants to come inside all the time, doesn't fancy going down the line against Kyle Walker. Pedro wants to come inside a lot.
Chelsea have been giving the ball away an awful lot early on as well. Here's Walker. Foden. Two teenagers having their own little private battle down there at the moment. Little nutmeg by Walker on Morata, but it gives the ball to Fabregas. Now what can Chelsea do here? Here's Alvaro Morata. And you can could see the intention there, but he couldn't quite whip it round far enough. And that will signal the first drinks break here in the Community Shield.
Yeah, see Morata there, though. Fletch, all he was ever going to do was take the shot on. No matter what happened, he was getting his shot away there. His head was down, a couple of touches and a whack. There was no real thought or guile in it at all. Here's the goal, though. It was a nice Manchester City goal. Good ball by Laporte. Again, nice touch, driving forward by Phil Foden. But look at Aguero, one of the best centre-forwards around. Surrounded by blue shirts, dark blue shirts, and he just pulls off. All in isolation, look. 5 around him, but nobody closing him down. Smashes it into the net. Easy as you like for him. He had no chance, nothing to do with him that time.
Number 200 in a Manchester City shirt, the all-time record goal scorer for Manchester City with the only goal of the Community Shield so far. Don't forget, BT Sport Score is back next Saturday from 2:45. That's on 1HD. And then we concentrate on newly promoted Wolverhampton Wanderers against Everton in the Premier League. That's from 5 o'clock on 1HD and 4K UHD. And then Jake and the team in the studio for Premier League tonight from 8 o'clock. And you can see that programme as well on 1HD and 4K UHD.
Brilliant game next week, isn't it? Wolves-Everton. New teams, new managers, everything you've got next week. Really looking forward to seeing Wolves, actually.
I'm fascinated to see how they do, because they've recruited well again, haven't they?
Yeah, they have.
The summer window, having been so impressive in the Championship last season. He's got one or two problems, though, to work out, hasn't he? In particular, giving Manchester City too much space.
Yeah. And also, as the lad said before, he's been in the job for 5 minutes, isn't he? He has to find out what his best team is. You know, when Hazard's coming back, are they going to keep Courtois? So many questions. Very unlike Chelsea.
He's got to get them ready for Huddersfield away.
Has to get them ready,
Saturday.
Fletcher. Has to get them ready for the transfer window.
Yeah, which is...
He has to bring his own players in and get rid of players he doesn't want, and it's hard because he hasn't been given any time.
The window closes on Thursday, Huddersfield away next Saturday, and of course they've got an extra 24 hours, Manchester City, before they're back in the capital here against Arsenal, another team where there's a real lot of curiosity around what Unai Emery's done to try and reshape them, maybe in terms of attitude as much as anything as a team, Steve.
Yeah, very much so. I think people like Lacazette and Aubameyang could have big seasons though ahead of them. They look really prolific now. Now they've had a little bit of time together.
Here's Foden, who started the game well. Alonso was a bit too sharp there for Mahrez. There's Aguero. On Mahrez. Foden. Clipped in towards Bernardo Silva, and then Aguero looking to pick up the pieces. And the last touch there was off Cesc Fabregas. It's going to be a Manchester City corner.
Yeah, again, that was really nice by Manchester City, just playing through the lines. Again, Aguero coming off the centre defenders, receiving, turning.
There's Kevin De Bruyne.
You better get a suntan cream on, I tell you that.
He's back in pre-season training tomorrow, having been such a key man for Belgium in the summer.
Oh yeah, he had a wonderful World Cup, didn't he? Did it himself and his country really proud again.
Corner whipped in by Leroy Sané and cleared by Alvaro Morata. Hudson-Odoi had lost it there to Mahrez, but he was fouled in the process. It's the difference in the modern game, Macca, isn't it? That you've pretty much got to win a five-a-side in your own penalty area these days to actually play out.
Yeah, to get out, I know. The goalkeeper's the extra man nowadays. The goalkeeper has to be that good.
A small-sided game in every penalty area on every restart. Here's Hudson-Odoi. The future for Chelsea, maybe.
Yeah, I'd just like to... I know he's only young. I'd just like to see him have a little bit more confidence. If there's a game where you can try things and if it doesn't come off, or it does come off, it's in a game like this. Just go and express yourself and do things, and don't worry about losing the ball or falling over.
Floated forward there by Jorginho, but straight at Claudio Bravo. Suppose one thing that is against the youngsters today is there isn't a tougher test as a right-back in the Premier League than the player that he's up against today in Kyle Walker.
Definitely. Why not have a go, Fletch? You can only test yourself against one of the best around.
Here's Pedro, and now Hudson-Odoi. He's going to try it this time, and he had the confidence to step inside and hit one. And it was a decent strike, wasn't it, from the 17-year-old?
Yeah, and you don't mind him jumping onto his right foot here, because he wants to get a shot away. That's no problem. When it's just one-on-one and he can drop his shoulder and have a hit like that, that's fine.
Time for the small-sided game again, Steve.
Yeah. When you're not playing, look, it doesn't matter. They're still playing out, isn't he, Bravo? And to be honest, it looks as if they've got out of it quite easily there, Manchester City. Oh,
Pedro almost nicked it away from Fernandinho.
And that's Aguero coming right back down. Right back and playing.
There's Benjamin Mendy, and now Sergio Aguero. Chance here for Pedro to come forward. Supported just outside him by Callum Hudson-Odoi. Alonso a little bit too strong there for Aguero. Now Barkley. Azpilicueta. Now Rudiger. Finding it really hard, though, aren't they, Chelsea, Steve, to make anything happen in the Manchester City final third. They'll get the free kick this time for the foul on Pedro.
He's nice and tight, isn't he, Laporte? Wasn't much in it, to be very honest. But you're right, they need to come up with something different, don't they, Chelsea?
With Hazard not out there tonight, there's not this afternoon, there's not a great deal of support for Morata.
No. I mean, that's a good thing. But it's so sad, isn't it? He's got Willian, he's got Hazard, he's got N'Golo Kante to come back. They're really, really important players and boost this Chelsea side no end. Of course, the goalkeeper as well, we mentioned before.
Well, that's a wait and see, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, there was question marks over Willian, there was question marks over Hazard. But if you're the manager and you've got the final say, nobody's going it. You need as many players as you can get.
Here's Hudson-Odoi. Elects to come inside again, but it's opened up for him this time. Spilt by Claudio Bravo and then cleared away by John Stones. Well, he saw the invitation there, Hudson-Odoi, and was happy to take it.
Yeah, lots of arms, finger pointing on the Man City defenders, because when he cut inside, as you said, all the centre defenders all ran away.
Here's Antonio Rudiger. And now Alonso. Haven't seen the Chelsea left-back get forward at all, have we? So far. Now David Luiz. Here's Fabregas. Morata. Pedro's really wide on the right-hand side for this Chelsea attack. Now Jorginho. Alonso. Fabregas. Morata. Now Rudiger. There's Alonso. Mahrez had a little nibble at him, and then Fernandinho able to win it back, and now Bernardo Silva can bring it the other way for Manchester City. He's still going here, and he's got Mahrez in a lot of space if he spots him, and he has done. It's Mahrez, and he's touched let him down.
Yeah, Bernardo Silva does really well. He just runs away. And Jorginho just drops his shoulder and goes again.
It illustrates the point, though, Steve, how hard Chelsea have to work to keep the ball and how easy Manchester City find it to break into the final third of Chelsea when they've got it. Bernardo Silva. Lovely flick inside to Riyad Mahrez, who then concedes the goal kick.
Yeah, see, just miscontrol, isn't it? I think he was caught whether he was going to try and hit it first with his left foot and try and bend it into that far corner, but has a touch and just miscontrols it really in the end. But Chelsea maybe are going to have to do something a bit different, whether it's going to be Barkley bursting forward or Fabregas trying to run forward. Because you can see when Hudson-Odoi this side and Pedro get the ball, they don't want to have a run against Mendy and Kyle Walker. They're too quick, aren't they, the Manchester City fullbacks?
That's better from Barkley. Pedro, he's looking to try and feed it through towards Morata, but the deflection took it through to Claudio Bravo. It's the first time we've seen the strength of Barkley there, turning the Manchester City defender. Here's Barkley again. Now Hudson-Odoi. Growing in confidence, isn't he, the teenager? Alonso, the crowd enjoyed that. It's a teaser, and Claudio Bravo there to catch it.
Yeah, Hudson-Odoi's got a nice little drag back onto his left foot. You've seen it a couple of times in pre-season. In some of the games he did that. Certainly set up one of the goals, I think, for Pedro in pre-season.
I thought you'd appreciate that.
Yeah, but you just want him. You want him to put something in Kyle Walker's mind. Kyle Walker, up until that moment, has got Callum Hudson-Odoi saying, right, he's going to go inside, he's going to go inside. Suddenly, he chops onto his left foot. Kyle Walker's all over the place, and then he's thinking, oh, he can go both ways now. As I said, there's no problem. This kid will improve and improve and improve. He's only a baby, which is fine.
Maurizio Sarri in conversation there with Danny Drinkwater, one of the Chelsea substitutes here today. And Willian is also on the bench.
Surely think that means Danny Drinkwater must be coming on, wouldn't you? If the manager leaves the touchline, goes right into the substitutes area and speaks to him. So maybe it's for the second half.
There's Mahrez, so influential for Leicester City during his time at the King Power Stadium. Now Alvaro Morata for Chelsea. Pedro in back towards Morata, and smooth defending back there for Stones. Bernardo Silva buzzing around in midfield there for Manchester City. The European action with the Champions League teams starts on the 15th of August, 7:30. Real Madrid, the Champions League winners against Atletico Madrid, the Europa League winners in the Super Cup. We've got Chelsea against Arsenal on Saturday the 18th at 5 o'clock. That's on 1HD and 4K UHD. And there's a cracking live fight night after that as well, featuring Carl Frampton and Tyson Fury, live from what's going to be an extremely noisy Windsor Park in Belfast, and that starts at 7:45. Pedro down injured here for Chelsea.
Yeah, the tackle was okay. Just unfortunate. Let's hope he's okay. He's on his feet.
There's John Stones, Macca, who was really impressive for England in the summer. Only made 16 Premier League starts last season. Do you think that this is going to be the season when Guardiola really turns it over to him at the back?
You know what, Fletcher? Don't know is the answer. You've got Laporte, who we spent big money on. We know that. Of course, Otamendi, Vincent Kompany. A lot might depend on how fit people are, but he certainly had a really good World Cup, didn't he, John Stones? He came of age to a certain extent, but I thought some of the games really suited him when he played for England. I think in the Premier League, when he gets hunted down and closed down, that's going to be the big question mark over him. But as a player, as you know, lots of time on the ball and popping nice balls into the midfield and having lots of confidence, I was really impressed with him during the World Cup. But sometimes the World Cup is, you look better than you do in the Premier League at times because of the opposition and the way teams play.
Hudson-Odoi was going to test his pace against Walker, but it's not really a wise thing to do unless you're Usain Bolt.
Oh, but again, I don't mind that. I don't mind it at all. You have to test yourself, don't you? We know how quick Kyle Walker is. He also got the run on there, got the arm across him first to stop him.
There's Willian, who Maurizio Sarri said he's pretty confident he's going to stay. That will come as a big relief to the Chelsea fans, linked with the likes of Barcelona and Manchester United. He's a player that, unless they could sign significant replacements, they couldn't really afford to lose.
No, not at all. Not at all. You can't lose anybody. If you're a new manager, Fletcher, you've got a point to prove to your owners. You can't lose any of these players unless you've got significant money to invest and bring in your own type of player.
There's Hudson-Odoi against Walker again. Decent ball inside to Morata. There's Bernardo Silva gliding through the midfield. He's such an elegant player when he does that. Played more games last season for Manchester City than anybody, despite not being a regular starter most of the time. Here's Foden with Mahrez outside him. Riyad Mahrez. Straight at Willy Caballero.
That's another little battle as well, isn't it? Again, because Mahrez likes to come in on his left foot. But Alonso's done well against him. He's a really good defender. Even then, Mahrez had done him on the right side, but he gets back Alonso and gets a touch at least.
Stones denying that path through towards Alvaro Morata. Can't be many teams, if any, in world football who can look at their squad and say, well, when David Silva can't do it anymore, we've got another fella who's almost a carbon copy of him called Bernardo Silva.
Yeah. You see here, chops it left foot onto his right foot. Alonso gets back, gets a little touch, and it goes into Caballero's hands. Is he impressed? Very high standards, that man.
It's lovely again from Bernardo Silva. Just couldn't quite get it down quickly enough at the end. They were looking for handball and didn't get it.
See, John Stones fizzed that into him. It helps when you've got a midfielder. You can get it under control. A lot of midfielders, that would have bounced off and it would have been a counter-attack. And I know he lost it eventually, Bernardo Silva, but when you've got the utmost faith in your midfielders to just control and turn and move forward, it really, really helps.
There's the City bench. Nicolas Otamendi on the back row. Gabriel Jesus is among the City subs today, fresh from signing a new contract with the club, which will have pleased Pep Guardiola.
Yeah, Vinny Company, Jesus, the warming up. Maybe
there he is.
There's Gundogan as well. Whether they might have an appearance in the second half, we'll wait and see how the managers approach this game. It is very warm, as you rightly said before, Fletch.
Interesting choice whether he opts to go with Aguero from the start of the season or whether it's Gabriel Jesus. Tended to favour the young Brazilian a little bit more when he was fit last season. And Morata chasing this, and he's misjudged it there, Claudio Bravo. Well, City fans have seen that before.
It's a strange one, wasn't it?
Oops.
I like this bit though, just taking it around the goal. Whether it came out of the sun into the shade, he just lost it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's had a few seat of your pants moments, hasn't he, as a City goalkeeper since arriving from Barcelona.
He's just keeping the City fans behind him on the seats, that's all. He hasn't had much to do, has he?
There's the number one, Ederson. Alisson here as well, Brazil's number one and number two in the Premier League this season. Who'd have thought it, Steve? Two of the best goalkeepers in the world are Brazilian.
I know.
They've always been renowned for those fantastic outfield players. The goalkeepers were always a lesson in themselves, but not anymore.
And their standout attributes is the fact that they can come out and play.
Here it is.
Oh, yeah. I don't know where this the bounce then, I don't know. Wasn't a problem anyway, was it? Wasn't a problem. Well in control.
It's the fact he managed to look like the coolest man in the place when he actually got back to it. Well, there's the half-time whistle. The most significant touch in the first half was a Manchester City 1, Pep Guardiola the happier of the two managers. Maybe one or two concerns for Maurizio Sarri, but Sergio Aguero, his 200th goal for Manchester City, gives them the half-time lead at Wembley. Chelsea 0, Manchester City 1.